Hello, my name is Eric, and today I'm going to show you some of the basic upgrades you can have on your Ender 3 3D printer. First, I'd like to introduce you to my 3D printer, Bubs, the Creality Ender 3 V2. 3D printers are surprisingly affordable machines that most people aren't aware that they can own and operate themselves. This one here can be found on their website for about $260. However, at certain stores and other websites such as Micro Center and Amazon, there are plenty of deals that bump that price down to as low as $175. The beautiful thing about 3D printers is that it's easily modified. 3D printer doesn't come with everything that you see here. It comes with the bare minimum parts, which includes the chassis, the build plate, and an LCD screen. It can function perfectly fine with what it comes with, but what's the point of having a modifiable machine if you don't modify it? Most quality of life parts are 3D printable, which means that the machine is already saving you money out of the box. These parts include, but are not limited to, the filament roll, which includes 2 little skateboard wheel bearings, a small filament wheel, which allows the filament to feed the extruder at an angle that makes it easier for the machine. Here is a listing of the bearings. Make sure that you get the 608s. That is the size of bearing that most designers on Thingiverse design their products around. Here's the BL Touch sensor mount. Make sure that you print this at 100% opacity. It will go through a lot of strain and you don't want it to break. This is a custom power supply fan mount. I use it to keep my power supply cool and quiet. Here's the listing on Amazon. You want to make sure that you get the 60mm one. That's one of the smaller ones. And make sure that it's 12 volts so that matches your power supply. Here is the full case that I've built for my 3D printer. The reason that I built it was because I was planning on printing with ABS, which is a very heat-sensitive material, and I wanted to make sure that the heat was retained to make the prints come out as smooth as possible. For the case project, I used 2 IKEA lac tables, which were pretty cheap, around $13, which was much cheaper than the alternatives. On the other hand, we have products that we cannot print out ourselves, which includes this heat-resistant extruder. It is made out of a material that is more heat-resistant than the stock extruder that comes with the machine, which is very beneficial because it allows your filament to retain its form throughout the print. Here it is. It's only $11. It's pretty affordable, and I think it's the most important upgrade. Under the printing bed are aftermarket springs that come with red leveling nuts. These are high tension springs, or at least more high tension than the springs that come stock with the printer. Those are used for keeping the bed level as long as possible. And as you can see, they come in a set of 4. This is going to be one of the more complicated aftermarket purchases. This is the BL Touch sensor. It's complicated because at some point you're going to have to splice the wires in order to make it fit into the motherboard on the bottom side of the printer. It is very complicated and a little pricey. After owning one for 2 years, it does not seem worth the money. Another addition that I don't have yet on my 3D printer is the Satsana Ender 3 fan ducts. I believe this is going to be a very good addition to my printer. It allows for concentrated cooling air onto places that need it when needed. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Here are a couple time-lapse prints from Wild Rose Builds to get you hyped up for buying a 3D printer. Thank you.